Hello, everyone. My name is Dave Weiner, and you are going to learn today about the new way of doing life insurance in America today. This is a complete change to everything you've ever done ever before in your past, and I'm going to tell you that digital sales are going to make all the difference in the world. I'm going to start with just a quick synopsis of something I thought I might share with you. One life insurance company between 2010 and 2014 paid out over $1 billion in life insurance death claims. Only one thing that was funny about that, if anything's ever funny about that, none of those people were dead. Today marks a change in the industry, probably a change for you as well. My name is Dave Weiner. That's a picture of me taken a couple of years ago at the Minneapolis Convention Center. I was speaking in front of several thousand insurance advisors, and we are definitely changing the world. Now, this is my 35th year in the business. I'm considered one of the pioneers in living benefits, a subject you'll hear a little bit about today. I have been a consistent seven-figure life insurance producer, income earner in this industry, very blessed at that. 17 years ago, the Blue Cross companies in 2001 of New Mexico, Illinois, and Texas took the time to write a paragraph in their annual report for Healthcare Service Corporation of the impact that we did. We took one little insurance company and with less than 10 producers did 25% of their business. Because of that, I was asked to be a participant in the first World Conference on Critical Illness Sales in America. And I was named a state chairman for the National Business Advisory Council for the state of Missouri. Today, I'm a field CEO for Freedom Equity Group. Now, way back in 1991, when we first started our first agency, we started with 8 reps. And I'm just giving a little bit of history of our agency, but we did $1.6 million in life premium our first year. Nothing wrong with that figure. We grew that agency over the next 4 years from 8,000 agents to 25,000. We introduced a floating management bonus, and we sold our agency in 4.5 years for $45 million after paying out in excess of $100 million in commissions to our field force in that 4.5-year time frame. In 2003, we decided all to play together again one more time, and we entered the distribution as Freedom Equity Group. Today, in 2017, we're one of the largest IMOs in the United States. We are now approaching almost 40,000 plus producers in our distribution. Last year, we were number 3 in production for the 3rd largest insurance company in the world. A company that insures in America 98% of the Fortune 500 companies, 90% of the Fortune Global 500, and 40% of the Forbes 400 richest are insured by the carrier that we were number 3 for last year. We led 3 other companies simultaneously. We were part of a documentary, the first ever done on living benefits, and very proud of that. Now, we had a client that bought a life contract a couple of years ago back in 2015. He was a cardiologist. He bought a $900,000 life insurance policy. He bought it predominantly because of the investment side of the contract. He didn't buy it because of the death benefit. 30 days after he purchased that contract, he was diagnosed with throat cancer. This was a $900,000 life insurance policy, and he was interviewed on that documentary that was on TV, and he got accelerated after making one payment into his contract, $734,000 of his life insurance money up front without him dying. Things change. One company, as I said at the very beginning, paid out $1 billion of these types of claims from 2010 to 2014. But in America, there is 149 million in-force life insurance contracts, and less than 1% is this type of insurance. That spells opportunity. And that's what today is all physically about between us and you, our potential new partner. Your issues are always the same as an insurance professional, whether you've never been in sales or whether you've been in it for years and years. All the things you've done in the past no longer work. You can no longer cold call. And I can give you a gazillion reasons why, but I'd say caller ID is kind of a big deal. They don't want to talk to us. The millennials don't even want you coming to their kitchen table anymore. Telemarketing. Well, if you're telemarketing Joe Consumer, forget about it. If you've got a way to get in front of the business owners, it's a maybe, but it's a big maybe. And it's not because of the do not call list. We live in a world where we use smartphones, and I don't know about you, but I don't answer phone calls from phone numbers I don't know. The only entity that answers a phone from someone they don't know is a business owner, because he's trying to conduct business with strangers. Direct mail no longer works. Why? Because we don't go to the mailbox anymore. And I don't know about you, but I don't open up internet mail from strangers. I don't open up attachments. I don't need that kind of virus. I mean, it's not necessary. So email marketing, internet stuff like that, it's non-effective out there. So why do most agents still succeed? Well, I'd say all of the above and more. They can't function in the old way of doing business. I consider ourselves the Uber of life insurance. And for those of you that don't know who Uber is one of the most successful transportation companies of our day. They recruit hundreds of thousands of driver partners. And after they vet them and get them through a background type scenario, all that person has to do is push their finger on an app. Uber then takes customer traffic, sends it to them, tells them where to pick them up, where to drop them off, it collects the money, and we do the exact same thing with you. After we vet you, contract you, this is a new day. Every day when you log into your computer, we transfer to you live. Not you paying for it, not you calling for it. You put your headset on, you log in, and we send you customer traffic. These are business owners with an in-force life insurance contract of the old stuff, allowing you to compare it to the new stuff. You can work at home and take 5, 10, 15, or as many customer calls as you want per day, and you have no lead cost. We're going to teach you how to be competitive against assets. We're going to teach you how to replace a 401k plan with an insurance contract and actually annihilate the 401k plan. And as I said, we were on TV. We were featured in the first ever documentary on Fox and PBS regarding living benefits, and it's on our website. In addition to that, we have an equity share point program, an equity share program for our producers that if we should ever in the future sell our agency, it's in your contract that we're sharing half with our field force. So let me introduce you to our Customer Acquisition Center. This is how it works. We employ thousands and thousands and thousands of call center employees in third world countries. They're conducting insurance surveys throughout the United States. And when they identify an in-force life insurance policyholder with a business owner who's interested in vital information about their plan, that individual is transferred live to you. That modern technology puts them live on the phone with you, and all you've got to do is follow our proven words. We teach you exactly what to say, and we provide you access to the largest insurance carrier in the online world, give you access to their underwriting engines, and we assist you in actually putting together the package. This is what it looks like. Here's a list of transfers from the other day. Globe Life, State Farm, National Life, Prudential, Allstate, MetLife. What could you do with that? I ask that question all the time. We don't sell leads. What is your conversion ratio? Now, we do have an administration fee that we charge each month. You must maintain a 10% close ratio to stay in the program, which means we don't charge you unless you're closing business and you're a successful partner with us. And what we do is we split comp with you. And it's broken down right here. If you're under $20,000 in life premium, it's pretty simple. We're a 50-50 split. If you're above 20,000, 60-40, 25, 65, 35, and it goes up continuously. And just like Uber, when we have a lack of people taking phone calls, we run surges where we pay more for different hours of the day or different days of the week. When you get a text message that says, you know what, we're lacking people to take live calls right now, we're paying 20% more commission for that few hours. We're known to do that because our structure is exactly like the digital transportation leader. Then we get that person in a conversation, and you're doing a comparison. We teach you exactly what to say. We teach you how to tease it. And then you compare. And where do you start the comparison? Well, this is a 45-year-old female. $500,000 of the new stuff with AIG. This is a term life policy that pays the death benefit out for heart attack, stroke, cancer, kidney failure, paralysis, coma, severe burn, horrific accident, on off the job where they can't do 2 of their 6 daily functions, terminal illness, death benefit. It's $98.17 a month. That's a nice premium. There's nothing wrong with that premium. And as you can see right there up on the screen, that's a $500,000 policy. The problem is if that person doesn't get sick, doesn't die in the next 35 years, that money's gone. That's over $41,000 and change. Can we do better? We like using asset-based life insurance. That's index life. Again, we teach language and words. And as you can see right here on the screen, this is a $40,865 one-time contribution. At the end of 5 years, you can see right here in the accumulation value, that's the asset-based portion of this contract. Guess what? There's $40,223 still sitting there. The index we use is an exclusive. It's the Merrill Lynch Index that you can only get by walking into Merrill Lynch yourself or getting an AIG contract. You can't have MetLife and get this. You can't have Prudential or New York. AIG has paid a licensing fee for exclusivity. It is their proprietary relationship with Merrill. At the end of 35 years, this asset has grown. This one-time payment at the age of 80 has grown down to 35 years to a projected $195,000 based upon what Merrill Lynch did the last 20 years in that index. This is a going back hypothetical, and you can see a couple key things right here. This is a no spread, no cap index. You can go all the way back at different years. If you go back to 2015, it lost. Our client got no losses. If it does 13, our client gets 13. If it does 10, these first 2 columns go back all the way the last 20 years, and this index has averaged 6.57%. It is a very conservative index. It is a mixture of treasury, stocks, and cash. And it's Merrill's own algorithm that determines what percentage goes into each one of those vehicles in the course of that year. It's designed to pit yourself against the asset leaders, the money managers, the Fisher and Sons, the Goldman Sachs and all those other entities out there. And we like comparing. And so much so we annihilated. So we took that same $40,000, put it in here. We showed zero taxes. We showed it as an after tax. The stock market has averaged the S&P 500 for the last 18 years 3.39%, and we shared the published fees of Fisher & Sons at 1.25% on that 45-year-old lady. 35 years in the future, the bottom of this red line, you can see the figure $82,778 versus the $195,000 that was in the asset-based life insurance contract. Our client still has $500,000 of life insurance, and there are $113,000 to the better inside that structure. It is the hottest life plan in the country. There is no cap. There is no spread. There is no losses. And does include the Merrill Lynch name with the Strategic Balance Index inside that plan. You have e-policy delivery, and very soon we're going to Connex underwriting, not just the $250,000 everybody knows non-med. We're going to $1 million non-human underwriting, which is better than non-med because you can get that preferred. You got the hottest guaranteed UL in the country. It's got living benefits, it's got return of premium, and it has another rider. At the age of 85, if you're not dead, not sick, didn't ask for your money back, they still pay out 100% of the death benefit at age 85. You get objections. We teach you to do things that no other agent has ever physically done. We encourage you to do lots and lots and lots of online screen presentations, screen shares. We have you record what you do. Give them a copy. Doesn't matter who they share it with, a family member, a CPA, their brother, cousin, lawyer. The math that you're going to present is going to be, they're not going to be able to refute that math. And it gives great transparency. We're going to do things you've never done inside those screen shares. We're going to teach them how we do the no losses. You're going to teach how indexing works. We're going to show them how to be compliant with the Internal Revenue Code. We're going to show the warm fuzzies, the line by lines, the year by year. We're going to take it to the back and show the charges. And you're going to add up every penny the insurance company charges, and they're going to learn that the cost for a life insurance contract is always less than what a money manager charges on a growing asset. And you will show your client how to have 300% more income. Hypothetical income, if you're averaging $125 a month and you're taking those leads from the CAC, what would be your conversion ratio? The leads don't cost you nothing. If you're closing 5%, which by the way would not keep your job, in other words, we would have to let you go, but at 5%, that's $60,000 a year, $5,000 a month. At 10%, if you're taking 10 of those a day, 5 days a week, you're making $14,700 a month, and that's a great living. If you're doing a 15% conversion ratio, guess what? You're at $26,000 plus a month of income. And if you're doing a 20% conversion, you're approaching the $500,000 status. And let's face it, that makes all the difference in the world. And how big and how do we know? Anybody can make a $98 a month term sale. But that asset-based sale, that had over $5,000 in commission to you on that 45-year-old female. We move assets. Now, what do you have to do to get started? There's not that much stuff you got to do. Number one, you've got to text the person that got you here to schedule a one-on-one interview. During that interview, we're going to talk to you about your background. We're gonna want to know if you're licensed. We're gonna want to know if there's any challenging issues like tax liens, vectors, criminal history, things that would not allow us to procure a relationship. Number two, probably the most important thing for me, and the reason I do a one-on-one interview, I need to hear your voice. I have to make sure that you can talk because it is the digital world. You're not face to face. And number three, I want to hear about your home office. I want to hear, Are you able to function on your own, or do you have to be in that environment where you're being supervised face to face? When you set up your back office, unlike the other world, this is the digital world. You do have a one-time setup charge to set up your back office of $125. If you're not licensed, in the back office is everything you need to procure an insurance license. And we do welcome and like and love non-licensed people because this is very teachable and doable. Nobody is born an insurance agent. You must be able to contract with our carriers, no exception, AIG, National Life Group, Fidelity and Guarantee Life, and United Home Life. You got to be able to learn our sales process. Now, we teach it through a daily sales meeting. Before you start taking appointments, you must give your presentation to your peers. It is a 3-step process. You have to, you've got to be able to execute. We want you to commit once you're licensed to taking customers. Now, you only get customers when you're logged in, and we've got part-time people and full-time people. I'm not going to kid anybody. The more you take, the more we make. We don't make anything if you don't make anything. We want you to try to do at least 30 customers a week. Does that make sense? Attend the daily sales meeting every day. We do have, and we just completed another boot camp last week in St. Louis. I love our boot camp, not because of what we teach, but because we can put you in a cubicle. Listen to you take customer call after customer call. I had some people last week take 15 plus customer calls multiple days in a row. What does that mean? It means I get to listen. It means I get to pull you in my office. I get to make corrections, make sure that what you're doing is proficient so that by the time you go back home, you're able to execute. And yes, you get to make money at the boot camp. I had one guy in one day, the boot camp before last, do $23,000 in premium. And one of the things that we do when you go back home, we bonus you enough premium the next week to cover your boot camp costs. In other words, we give you an extra 10% on the spread for a week to make sure that you recovered every penny you physically spent. We want you to own an asset-based insurance contract. And here's the good news. We're not looking to write it on yourself. We know all about the other marketing companies out there that want to sell you a life policy. We want you to believe in it. We want you to own it. We think it's very important. But if you want to own it, you sell it to yourself. And by selling it to yourself, we've got a deal cut with AIG that they will advance you commissions on your sale. You do not sell it to yourself if you can't afford it. You only do it if you can. But the great thing is that money from that sale can literally start your business. It gets you the right computer for your home office, the right internet speed, the right headset. And yes, if you desire to go to boot camp, it could even pay for your trip to St. Louis to go to boot camp. We make sure that you're taken care of. And like I said, we've got a deal with AIG right now where they will advance commissions to the agent on their own sale. That is not done in the industry. Most insurance companies will not advance monies to an agent on their personal business. We're doing that so it can help offset and make sure we don't leave the right person behind. We want to get that person in play. Now, you do need to attend the national convention. It's the only live event that you're required to be a part of, and that's every June. And that's where we distribute our equity share points and things of that nature. And to get into the equity share program in any rolling 12 months, that could be January, June to June, you become a partner once you've earned an actual cash flow of $100,000 plus. So what that basically said is we begin the process right here. I've taken the last few minutes and told you just very briefly a little bit about ourselves. I know one thing. If you write 4 sales a week from the CAC, replace life insurance contracts, average $125 a month. Based upon our splits, that's $120,000 a year to you. The question really is, what are you looking for? Please get back with the person that brought you here today. Please pick up the phone, and if you're invited by myself, please text me 925-216-9404 and ask to interview. In the text, provide your name, say you watched the overview, you want an interview, and then I will text you back some choices and times, because I really do need to interview you first before we can physically take you on. With that said, have a great, blessed day. We'll see you all fight the good fight in the world. And again, thank you for your time and attention.